Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to my small backyard vegetable garden here in central Victoria. Yesterday we had another whole day of rain. The garden beds are really wet, and what I'd hoped to get on with today was the strawberries, pulling them out of the perennial vegetable bed, but I do not want to be walking on that garden bed, so I'm going to take care of a few other little things that I have been wanting to do, and also something that I have to get done. When we had all the rain yesterday, there was a lot of wind and it sort of detached the peas in places, so I'm going to put up a little bit of support for them, just some jute string, really light string, and it sort of rots away by the time that they have finished. But also I had the covers on this garden bed over all the little seedlings, so the peas had sort of clung to them as well. While we've had so much wind and I've had to detach them from the covers and they've sort of leant over, so I'm putting the string up to hold them back against the wire so that they will cling to the wire. This string isn't tight across them, it's just giving them that bit of extra support so they keep up off the ground. They can actually blow around in the breeze, and I think that encourages them to grip on. So I'm all for encouraging them to climb the wire, but I do not want them snapping off or laying over and rotting, because underneath, if they're too damp, they will go slimy. Even these ones here on the arch, I'm trying to keep them there. We've had a lot of strong wind, which has worked against them, so just that little bit of extra support should help them travel up the wires. These are the latest peas that I have sown, and they are really growing quite well, I think, for sitting the shadier side of the purple cauliflowers. It's surprising how much difference, now that we're past the shortest day, how fast the sun is now getting on the garden beds, which I'm very happy with. So it means that there is only a short amount of time where it is very shady. These all look really happy. There's more coming up there. These must have been seeds that I just put some in dry to see how they went. I had a whole heap of packets and I just poured them in dry, not pre-soaked, and they are now coming up because we've had so much rain. I try to keep on top of the straw peas so that they don't get mixed up, and these seedlings along here are looking pretty good, so I think it needs some kind of protection. And these ones here with the wire, see, they're doing the same thing here. They're just gripping onto the wire. So detaching them, and I will take the covers off and put up some string also, just to give them that bit of support and hold them back against the wire. Spread them along evenly so that they're a bit more spaced. And I use my scissors to move the mulch. The birds had been getting in under that wire. They hadn't done too much destruction, but I'm going to try and combat that with these twigs. This is the prunings of the pineapple sage. I kept them all in a pile, and these are even probably better than the raspberry canes because they have all the extra little twiggy bits at the end. So it sort of covers a bigger area, but all these twigs, they're so light and they will break down very easy. Now they're sitting out here in the weather over winter, and really they should crush up quite easily by the time we get warm weather. So I'm hoping that will help, and if there's anywhere that they will dig, it will be along the front. They are very industrious, my blackbirds. Moving on to a job that I had mentioned in my last video, and that was this perpetual spinach. I wanted to pull them all out and raise the level of the dirt digging around and taking the mulch off. That was the pot that had the basil in it over summer. So these perpetual spinach I planted a year ago, so I have been picking from them over the year, and that is why the soil has sunk so low. They've just produced and produced all the time. We pick from them all the time, add them to salads, just any kind of green leaves, and they slow right down. So rather than just feeding up the soil and leaving them at that level, I thought I should pull them all out, clean them off and separate them, taking off all the brown dead leaves around the base and the rather large older leaves from the outside. So when you see them, they are nice young little plants. Just clearing them all off. It's amazing how many are in here, because I think I would have just put in a punnet. So they have grown extras like this one at the side. I'm just going to divide the soil between the two copper pots. Then I will top them up with mushroom compost and cow manure. I do not have any potting mix at the moment, and I did not want to drive to you know where to pick some up. I think between the two pots with some extra compost in it, there will be plenty. Doing this with the perpetual spinach, they will then take off and be producing again in no time. They are very, very hardy. They are from the beet family, so they're not actually a spinach. I just had this pot over at the entry to my potting table there, so it got some shade during summer, and they produced all summer. So one whole year out of a punnet of seedlings that was $4. I think they're $4.90 a punnet. That's pretty good value. So what we normally do is have lots of different greens, and we pick from them some lettuce, some mizuna, some perpetual spinach, rainbow chard, just the normal spinach, and just have mixed salads. When you have lots of things on offer, then you can pick a bunch of things rather than having just lettuce. Then you can spread it out and have lots of things growing and pick from lots of different greens. Because some days you may have enough lettuce for your salad and other days you may not, so you just add other leafy greens. Now, putting them all back into this pot, I sort of wondered if they would all go back in. I had planned to put them all back in until I divided them up and went, ooh, there's a lot of plants there. But anyway, I put them all back in. As long as the soil is healthy and full of goodness, then I think they will cope, no problem at all. So I'm getting the straw back on, just a little bit of mulch around there because we are due for more rain and I do not want the soil washing out. So that sort of slows down the rain. They look so much happier when you compare them to how they looked before. It's exactly the same plants. These do look far healthier though. So into the compost, this has dropped a good couple of inches. I packed this to the top and it had been, I don't know, maybe 32, 33 degrees, and it has dropped it back in temperature, but there are so many worms all in there working, and it's such a lovely sight to see. There they are, very busy. Now onto the sweet peas along here. Quite surprised that after the last lot of rain, I thought these were all going to be covered and packed down too tight underneath the bean vines, but they have managed to fight their way through. So I am extremely happy. I will have some sweet peas coming up, which is great. And the walking onions, there's nothing coming up through the soil yet. I've separated them out because there was one top layer that was getting a lot of water through and the other two were quite dry. And the seed snails, I need to start planting these out because I feel that if I can get them into a pot or the ground, that they will grow on faster. These turnips, I'm really not sure where I'm going to put them. I need to think of somewhere to put them. The flowers I can plant here, there and everywhere. The pak choi I'm going to put in the other copper. This is the red one and they are so pretty. I am going to put those in. They are very tiny, but I think I'm hoping that just getting them in the soil will spur them along. Yeah, there we go. It's dropped in temperature. It's 29 degrees. And we'll cover it all back up and put these extra leaves on. So many worms. It's just wonderful to see. I don't know where they've all come from because I did not even put them in there to start with. And what I didn't do when I mulched around the lemon tree, I didn't put any food out for it. I'm putting a bit of dynamic lifter out. It's looking happier now. The fruit is off and the rain has settled down the mulch around it. The not so hot pot is 13. It's still sitting a little bit warmer than the rest of the garden bed, but the plants around here, I cannot believe how happy they look. This one here, this purple cabbage, is looking really well. We have been picking from all these spinach, but the birds do make a mess. Now here is the red pak choi. Going to get them all into that pot and hopefully they will take off. They look tiny from the top, but these don't look too bad. Smaller than what I'd hope, but I'll put them in gently and put a cover over them and hopefully they will take off. They're so delicate. But this was the size that I had planted my spinach that I'd grown in the seed snails into the other pots, and although it's taken a little while for them to settle in, they do sit down the other end in a lot of shade, so hopefully they will take off. This little guy was hiding out in the seed snail, so let's get him in the pot and he can make his home in there now. I have been trialing some worm castings. We got some for the house plants, and I've just been putting it on pots and a bit around the garden beds. And I'm going to shift this cover that was over the spinach when they were tiny. There's the Mizuna that we have been eating from, and I am just going to put a few sticks down. Some will stand up, and I may make another wire cover, the same that's wrapped around the Mizuna. Going to pick some of the bambino sprouting broccoli. We have been picking these, and this is another favorite to add to our salads. Just chop them up or lightly fry them with some leaves for when I have my eggs for brunch, and they are delicious. Sometimes it's better just to have a few that you can pick on a daily basis than one big piece. And all these leafy greens that are left, the fast growing greens, we will be eating through those. These are the carrots, and they are coming along really well, and some parsley to take inside. My daughter has been inside making sourdough focaccia. I'm looking forward to going in and having some of that. So just take some greens in for a side salad.